Hello and welcome to my guide to the Kalphite Queen. Now the focus of this guide is going to be on lower level players that are really struggling with the boss because of how hard it hits. The method I'm going to be using focuses on taking minimal damage while sacrificing kill speed. You are going to be killing the boss much slower, but you're going to be taking much less damage, and you can probably get more kills per inventory when you get the method down. So for gear, I'm going to be going on a Slayer task because it's very easy to get a Kalphite task. So ideally, the only time you really want to be killing Kalphite Queen is when you've got a task. In terms of armour, I'm going with Bandos because I've got it, but it really doesn't make a difference if you go in something cheap like Torags. It's even tankier. I just wear this because I've got it and I like it and it looks fancy. Amulet of Fury, Fire Cape, Defender, and you basically go in DPS. B-Ring imbued, Primordial, but Dragon Boots are fine. If you're really tight for cash, then Climbing Boots are also okay. Barrow's Gloves if you've got them. If not, best gloves in slot. Probably if you haven't got Barrow's Gloves, it might end up being something like a Combat Bracelet. I've got the Partisan of the Sun, so the Yellow Keris. If you haven't got that, any good crush weapon. So a Leaf-Bladed Battle Axe would be a really, really good, cheap substitute. My special weapon, Dragon Warhammer, but it's only because I've got it. It reduces defense, but you don't need to reduce the defense with this method. I'm just bringing it because I've got it. If you haven't got it, don't worry about bringing a spec weapon. If you do want to bring a spec weapon, bring a DDS. Apart from that, I've got my Draman staff because the quickest way of getting there is via Fairy Ring. Fairy Ring code BIQ for Big Insect Queen. And then apart from that, in my inventory, I've got 1 super combat potion, 4 prayer pots, and a load of food, and my teleport home. And that's it. Funnily enough, after just telling you guys that getting a Slayer task for Kalphites was very common, it took me 500 or 600 points just to skip for this task, just to make this video. So if it's not too much trouble, please do like the video so that I don't feel like I've lost out on too much. But enough of that. For plugins, I go with Menu Entry Swapper, mainly because of the customizable left and shift click. Because when you go into the room before you attack the boss, you're going to hover over it, hold shift, right click, and swap shift click to walk here. That's important for this method. That way, as you can see, when you hold shift and hover over her, the option isn't to attack her. You'll just walk underneath her. So if you need to hear that again, hover over the boss, hold shift, right click the boss, and swap shift click to walk here. That's because we're going to be walking under her to pin her into the corners, as you'll see shortly. Apart from Menu Entry Swapper, I like NPC Indicators because it's going to highlight the tiles that the boss is stood on and it'll let you know where you can stand where she can't hit you. But that's easy and that's it for plugins. Just in case you don't have access to fairy rings, you can teleport to the PvP arena on a dueling ring and walk south from there. And you'll find yourself at the Shanty Pass. Once you go through there, it's just west. Now, as you can see in my inventory, you can bring the Book of the Dead and runes for thralls. I forgot to use them on this first skill, so it's not a big deal obviously, but I did also forget to tell you that you need 2 ropes, so bring 2 ropes every time until you've done the hard diaries. When you get to the entrance of the Kalphite Queen's lair, you're going to want to use a rope on it, climb down, make your way around the loop. Some of these NPCs are aggressive, but don't worry, they won't do too much damage to you. When you get to the second entrance, use your rope on that and climb down, and then wait here because we're going to utilise our Menu Entry Swapper to hold shift, right click the boss, and swap shift click to walk here. Here we go, so hold shift, right click the boss, swap shift click to walk here, click on it, we are ready. As you can see, when I hold shift, it completely gets rid of the option to attack, so I can walk under the boss. So now we're ready, I'm going to drink my super combat potion, walk over to the boss, or run if I can. Pray mage because my range defense is massive, and I'm going to spec the boss twice with my Dragon Warhammer. Hopefully I hit both. There's 1. 43, big boy stuff. And there's 2. Oh, 75, we love it. So now we're going to hold shift and keep walking underneath her for as long as we can. And while we're underneath her, the boss is going to sort of lose aggro to us. It's just like flinching if you've ever flinched anything before. But as you can see, she'll also block herself in a corner, so I can stand here for ages. That guy's stopping her from going downwards. She can't go backwards. So whenever I want, I can click, walk back underneath her, and I've flinched her just like that. Now if you're only 1 square underneath from the edge, the guy, her little minions can hit you. So make sure you're at least an extra square in. And then if you start getting run around like this, hold shift and just keep walking underneath her so that she is backed into a corner again. Do the odd bit of damage, but don't worry too much. You can spend all day underneath her. Just like that, that's the first phase done. I used 1 food. Now we wait. So, she is praying melee now, but don't be put off by this. It's an accuracy thing, you can still hit her. And especially if you've got a decent weapon, there you go, 52 straight off the bat. It's really not a big deal. So I'd just bring melee. You were probably wondering if I'd forgotten. Nope, melee's the way here. Walk underneath. And I'm going to wait a little bit longer than I was doing there because she was still hitting me. And as long as I've got that on, I can just walk around underneath her all day long, do the odd bit of damage, make sure that her worker's not hitting me as well, or soldier, whatever it's called, and just keep walking underneath her. As you can see, he's pinned her to the wall, so she's just going to go up and down, so I don't have to worry about left and right. If I stay south of her now, she'll push herself into a corner, but I'm not going to worry too much. Like that, I'll do a little bit of damage, walk underneath her, and she's just going to get stuck on me. He doesn't matter too much, he doesn't do much damage. As long as she's out of the way, I'm good. As you can see, if you do mess up, she really does hit, so this is the reason I'm making this guide. But also, as you can see, this method makes it awfully easy, and you don't take much. Everyone can get a kill, and I know that most people were requesting this guide just because they needed a kill for the diary, or maybe a few kills for the head, for the elite diary. This is going to make that much easier. Nobody likes sitting at this boss solo because it's absolutely rubbish and it absolutely melts you. See, now she's sat in this corner, it's an absolute dream. I can stay there forever. She's not going to walk all the way out one way. If she does, I just walk a extra square that way. Do more damage, and as long as I pop out to the east or west of her, the big one won't hit me. But not to worry again, just make sure you're doing damage to her, and that's your kill. It is that easy. Kalphite Queen is not difficult anymore. All this clip is where I remembered that I could use thralls, and it's just showing you how easy this can be, because she starts spawning more minions. My thrall could do more damage because I could sit under her that whole time. Everything's pinned her in, she can't move in any direction, and I just pop out to the top, hit her every now and again when I want to. If my thrall is up, obviously her health bar won't go away, but if the thrall wasn't up, when the health bar goes away, that's when you can hit her again. So yeah, I hope that helped. As you can see, it was my last kill for my diaries, so I got myself a nifty amount of runecrafting XP, and the desert amulet, as you can see, is a free once-a-day teleport to Nada, which is nice, because that's quite a hard place to get to if you haven't got one of those, or some Nada teleports. So yeah, hope this guide helps, guys. If it does, please subscribe and like the video. Comment down below what sort of guides or content you'd like to see next, and I'll see you next time.